We're live at Alico Arena on the campus of Florida Coast University in Fort Myers, Florida. And it's the O'Reilly's Auto Parts CBE Classic, where the Bradley Braves take aim at the Kangaroos of Missouri State. Hello again, everyone. I'm Frank Bissoni, along with Coach Dick Versace. And Dick, first tonight, a Bradley health status and a new lineup for this game tonight.
Well, the health status is the story of the new lineup. Andrew Warren still not available. You know, no one wants to play more than Andrew Warren.
For sure.
And, of course, if you're fans or the coaching staff, you really want him out there because you know what he can do. He provides great perimeter shooting, and it's just not going to be there until he's ready. The other gentleman, Sam Maniscalco, really at the beginning of the week didn't look like he was going to play at all. So he's not in the starting lineup. Edrin McCain is in the starting lineup instead of Sam Maniscalco, and they're going to miss his perimeter shooting. But I look for him to be able to play maybe up to 30 minutes tonight. Sam
did practice last night, and he will play. He will not start. Bradley has played very hard in 2 games, hasn't got a lot of baskets to show for it, Dick. What can they do tonight to change that?
Well, I think they're a different kind of team. This is a kind of team that's extremely athletic, Frank. Yeah. This team has got great foot speed, and they need to get offense from their defense. Their defense tonight and throughout this tournament is going to have to force turnovers, get some open court baskets, because we got terrific athletes and great foot speed, as I said.
Absolutely. All right, we'll be back with the starting lineups and the play-by-play. It's Bradley and KC next.
When we went to the State Bank of Spear, they were really able to customize their approach. We felt that working with State Bank of Spear was just good business because we were able to bank with basically no fees and then earn money that we had on deposit. State Bank of Spear offered a number of services that we weren't able to find anywhere else.
Check out Peoria Banking Center's completely free checking accounts. The Peoria Banking Center in the Candletree Center on North University, Peoria.
Thinking Camry or Accord? At Green Chevrolet Hummer, we challenge you to think again.
The all-new Chevy Malibu beats the imports with better fuel economy, longer warranty, and a much lower price.
At Green, you can compare the Malibu and the imports side by side.
We're so sure you're going to buy a new Malibu that we have 70 different models inbound and on the ground.
Right now, you can get an all-new Chevy Malibu supplier price for thousands less than a new Camry.
Take our Malibu challenge today at Green Chevrolet Hummer. Online now at ChevyStore.com.
Bradley basketball fans, it's time to get ready to rock the house. Power packs are on sale now. College basketball's best entertainment value is waiting for you with 5 Saturday games for $50. Get yours now at the Shea Stadium ticket office or by calling 309-677-2625. Don't miss a second of Bradley Braves basketball action. Get your power pack today. Bradley basketball. Are you man enough?
You're looking live at the Florida Gulf Coast Alico Arena. Frank Bissoni and Dick Versace on Comcast Television, and welcome to those in Kansas City on Metro Sports. Starting lineups: Bradley, Dodie Dunston, leading scorer so far this year. Here's a new one. Edrin McCain, a freshman, is going to start tonight, along with Chris Roberts, Theron Wilson, and David Collins at the forward in the center. For UMKC, coach their star Dane Brummagem, and also Reggie Hamilton, who's had 22 shots from 3 and made 12. Dibble, Johnson, and Humphrey add out their starting lineup. We'll talk more about those later. What stands out to you?
Well, Brummagem is a dangerous player, and he hasn't lived up to the kinds of performances that he's put on in the past. And he's had 40 on one occasion. He's been in the 30s 3 times, but he hasn't gotten out of the blocks very well this year. But Hamilton has. Hamilton's 12 for 22 from threes, and he's got the hot hand.
Hamilton is 23, Brummagem is 3. Bradley goes in the middle with David Collins, considerably taller than James Humphrey at 6'7". Edrin McCain is number 1 with the ball. Bradley is in white. KC, the Kangaroos, in royal blue. Collins post. Man-to-man to start. Dodie Dunston gets into the lane. Short one. Does not drop. Nice rebound by Wilson. Bradley keeps it.
Well, what I see available tonight is going inside. You and I talked about this earlier, and it was Frank Bassoni who said, can they go inside to David Collins? And the answer is yes. He clearly has a size advantage. We know he has a shooting touch. He just has to bring some passion to his performance.
He's got the ball on the low block now. He's doubled and a traveling. So first turnover of the game is against Bradley.
But I like the way he aggressively caught the ball, brought the ball, pulled it into his chest, and he just traveled. I think that, you know, there's a lot of pressure on him, you know, from his teammates and his coaches, and I think from the fans as well.
Look at the pressure by Bradley, full court. There's a steal by McCain. Into Theron Wilson for a stop.
Yeah, I saw Jimmy working on this in practice the other day. It's a 1-2-1-1 zone press.
Well, they
tried to deny the inbounds. There's a switch.
This is Dibble running the baseline. Bradley's pressure is there. Spencer Johnson is 5 from Champaign, Illinois. Johnson is 6'6" and 210. Reggie Hamilton out of Harvey Thornton with the ball. There's a bounce pass stolen by Collins, and Bradley has 2 steals off the bat. They lead 2-0. On the scoreboard, Bradley will be Eagles. Remember, this is the home court of Florida Gulf Coast. Theron Wilson, right wing. That's Roberts on top. Here's a whistle and a foul away from the ball. It's an offensive foul on the Braves.
That's a tough call. It looked like David Collins was just trying to, you know, do a strong shape up. A shape up is a position inside. And he's going to be available. If you look carefully, you'll see he's popping open. They need to just go ahead and punch it in there.
Here's a high lob over the pressure. Will they catch up? No. Layup is missed. Rebound Brummagem. He turns, puts his head down in the lane, spins it up, and he drew a foul. Dane Brummagem's first offensive thrust.
You know, you watch Dane Brummagem, and he has his coach's green light. He hasn't shot well, as I mentioned earlier. He did play fairly well against Kansas. At Kansas, he had 4 out of 8 3-pointers in the first half, but then kind of faded in the second half. He's a dangerous player.
Nice touch. Brummagem, a very capable free throw shooter for his career. This year, 67% to start. But as we said, he's their go-to guy, and he'll be a key to whether or not the Kangaroos can win this game. The score is tied at 2, 18:34 to go. Bradley and White with the ball. Roberts beat his man baseline, kicked it out, step in, and a foul. Foul is on Kansas City. The Bradley Braves are playing the University of Missouri at Kansas City. We'll refer to them most frequently as Kansas City. They're 1-3. They beat Wichita at Wichita. 66-63. They played Kansas to a tie at a half. Bradley looking at trying to get a shot. McCain, that's Sam Singh who came in the middle. Dunstan's in the corner. Roberts. Nice rebound there and steps in and looked like he was fouled. Dodie Dunstan athletically sticks it in and doesn't count. Offensive foul on Bradley.
That's going to be a problem for Bradley. They're going to start seeing all zone. I mean, Florida played zone against them in the second half, or actually more than in the second half, and they had a difficult time with the zone. Their 2 best shooters are Warren and Maniscalco. Neither of those 2 are in the game, so you're going to see some forced efforts like we just saw by Theron Wilson.
A little bit of a high weave for KC, 2-2 tie. And now an offensive foul on Kansas City.
That's how Kansas City is going to play as long as Bradley is in man-to-man. Kansas City is going to be running that weave. They do have some shuffle cuts and some baseline picks. But what they really try to do, similar to what Bradley does, is get the weave going, look for penetration and open shots off the pick and pops.
They do like to slash, although they did have 9 threes against Kansas City, or against Kansas. Here's a pop by McCain, and the rebound goes to Dustin Dibble. Dibble is a 6'4" guard. This is Hamilton, really off to he's burning the nets early. Nice cut by Brummagem for a deuce. Nice pass by Hamilton.
Well, Brummagem was guarded by Dunstan. Dunstan turned his head, and Brummagem backdoored, and you're going to see a lot of backdoor cuts.
Dunstan beat his man to the left for a deuce.
Yeah, well, UMKC is going to just do that. It's a little bit of the Princeton stuff where they actually do a lot of back cutting and making it difficult to overplay.
Yeah, here's a spread offense, and it's a little bit of Princeton, a little bit of West Virginia, and here we go. Bradley with the ball on the steal. Nice pass inside to Singh. Blew a point-blank layup. 4-4. 16:52 first half. Ball on the floor and almost picked away by the Braves. Oh, Hamilton slipped by his man down the lane.
Well, that's one way to beat pressure. Bradley's putting on great pressure. That's the way to get the ball down the court.
Here's a turnover by the Braves, and Hamilton pushes the other way. Kansas City leads by 2. Mushat with and a rebound to Bradley. They run. It's an up-and-down game right now.
I think Bradley, Frank, they want to play at a high speed. If you have all this foot speed and athleticism and slashing ability, you want to get in an up-and-down game, and you want to be able to get baskets in transition.
Absolutely. Bradley has a really athletic and quick team. Dunson missed that shot at the 16-minute mark. It's 6-4 KC. Dibbles posting down low for a guard, missed the shot. Bradley's got the board.
There's the transition. I'll make a good decision.
Oh, nice pass. Dunked by Theron Wilson from Chris Roberts.
See, one of the things Bradley's done in its first couple of games is they played too fast. Now, Jimmy doesn't want to tell him, don't play fast, because he wants him to play fast, but there's a point when you play too fast. Now, that was good control on that last exchange.
And Bradley plays freshmen. Other teams do too, and Barry Hinson said about freshmen, watching freshmen is like watching the stock market. You're up 200, then you're down 500.
That's a very apt analogy.
All right, there's timeout on the court. We'll be back in just a moment.
Now is the time to join the Academy of Okinawan Karate in Peoria, Eureka, and Morton. Gain self-confidence, learn self-defense, improve your physical fitness, and learn the self-discipline that leads to better grades. Two-time world karate champion Joseph Walker and his highly trained staff will help you achieve your goals. Call the Academy of Okinawan Karate now at 692-2499 for any of our 3 locations. North Point Shopping Center, Peoria, Eureka, and Morton next to Kroger's. Join now and receive a free uniform when you mention this ad.
Central Illinois farmers have taught us that hard work, dedication, and respect of others make up the farm way. Your friends at Leeway Ceramic Tile have built a company based on these same principles. Next time you're shopping for ceramic tile, visit the hardworking people who always treat their customers with respect. For quality products at a fair price, remember there's the farm way and there's Leeway. Leeway Ceramic Tile.
So if you want the best in ceramic tile, the only way is Leeway.
Okay, guys, 2-minute break.
Hey, Jim, thanks for giving me the advice on the Better Banks. Terrific.
Hey, a satisfied customer is the best advertisement, and they've been great to me and my family since I moved back to Peoria.
They make me feel like a neighbor. Competitive rates, just been terrific.
Well, my daily banking needs, they have my mortgage, I pay my bills online, and I get great service with that.
Experience for yourself what we mean by better service, Better Banks. Now with 5 locations to serve you in Bartonville, Peoria, Dunlap, and Wyoming. Member FDIC.
It's Bradley 6 and Kansas City 6. And, Coach, what's the first team going to get the flow or the rhythm in the game going the way they want it?
Well, I see Maniscalco is in the game now, and I think he needs to be in the game because they need perimeter shooting. And I think you're going to see a lot of zone, and you'll see UMKC. You'll see them take a lot of charges. And there's the zone right now. It's a 2-1-2 with an extension. No, it's a 1-3-1. Sorry,
1-3-1. This is Sam looking at his first 3. Air ball and out of bounds. You mentioned that Sam need to be in the game. There's guys like our captains, Sam Maniscalco, Dodie Dunston. You don't care whether they're point guard, shooting guard, or palace guard. You want them on your side.
You do. I mean, they both, Dunston and Maniscalco, bring a toughness, to the Bradley defensive effort and to what they're doing offensively.
All right, now let's see. Reggie Hamilton's going to go get the ball. The stars for the Kangaroos are 23 Hamilton and 3 Brummagem. Bradley is in a zone. Maniscalco out front along with McCain. Here's a long 3 right home, Dane Brummagem.
I was going to say, as soon as you go to zone, Drummond's going to start firing like he's Allen Iverson. I mean, the guy has no conscience, and he will just lace them up and put them up.
He shoots with a lot of confidence, and KC leads by 3, 9-6. Dodie Dunston steps down the lane and finger rolls it home.
Nice slash against the zone. Very good job. And that's what Jimmy wants to do. Coach Jim Les wants to get ball movement, get the ball inside to his post people, back out to his perimeter people, and then slash to the basket.
Here's a steal by Roberts, and then it trickled off his hand out of bounds. There's Chris Roberts returning to the lineup for McCain. There's not a great number of people here at the Alico Arena, but those who are largely wearing red and are cheering for Bradley.
Why am I not surprised?
They travel well, don't they?
Yes, the great Bradley contingent.
The Maniscalcos are here, Mr. and Mrs. Carl, Gene and Becky Sidler we saw, Larry and Rhonda Hazlitt we saw, Steve and Billy Mungie we saw, Nick and Sandy Atkins, and more. So
and I believe Jim Peterson is here.
Yes.
And somebody has a birthday, don't they?
Mark Peterson does. Mark Peterson's birthday, and congratulations to him. He's a Bradley Scholarship Society guy and a great supporter.
Both Mark and his uncle Jim have been so good to Bradley over the years. I'm talking Jim goes way back into the 25-year category, maybe more, that he's helped Bradley. And Mark, of course, has been extremely active with recent Bradley teams.
Here's Sam Maniscalco with the ball. Bradley's one down, trying to take a lead here. They look inside. It's Wilson. He steps past his man, bounce pass, layup, easy.
That's what I was talking about. That's what they want to try to do against the zone. They want to try to get it inside. If the help comes, you drop it off to a big. Otherwise, you go back to the perimeter, and that perimeter guy can then slash.
Slashing right now is Hamilton. He steps in and throws it up there, and Singh rebounds. This is Chris Roberts. Dunston lost the handle, got it back, missed the shot. Ooh, leaping rebound by Theron Wilson, and there's a foul.
Well, looks like we're staying at the Bradley end, which is a good thing. That foul could have gone either way.
I couldn't call it because there's been so many offensive fouls in basketball.
Well, you never can call them because you always want them to go your way.
That's right. And one more thing.
How you see it, Frank.
That's right. Speaking of congratulations, a great friend of mine and yours in the programs, Mike McCord. Congratulations on winning the Tom Connor Award for Community Service. Mike, congratulations, richly deserved. Mike's, of course, a Bradley trustee.
Oh, I've known Mike all the way back in 19.
Me too. Maniscalco tries to get in. Hemmed in by 2, didn't lose it, and out of bounds it goes to the Kangaroos.
I think both teams right now, are feeling themselves out a little bit and trying to get their offenses going and what they're trying to do defensively. But I think in the end, it's going to be the team that brings the most passion. Because when you're playing in front of a sparse crowd,
right?
You have to supply your own passion because it's not going to come from the crowd.
Yeah, that's an excellent point because the crowd, a good home crowd, really lifts a team. I've seen it lift yours. I've seen it lift Jim's.
Well, the last game we did together against UIC, you kept saying, "Where's that Bradley crowd? Where's that Bradley crowd?" And I said, "Frank, I think if this shot goes in and we go ahead, you'll hear them." And sure enough, they're there like they always are.
Absolutely. Trey McKinney-Jones is 22 in the game for Kansas City. Kansas City got an easy shot from Humphrey when Singh was looking the other way. Bradley, 1-point lead for KC. Roberts is stripped by Hamilton. Can he go coast to coast? Yes. 3-point lead and a timeout for Bradley. And this is a 30 coach, so what?
Well, these are things that as a coach you do not like to see. Sam Singh is underneath the basket, completely loses vision on his man and the ball. He didn't see the ball or his man. Normally when you're on offense, you want to see the ball 100% of the time. When you're on defense, you want to see the ball 98% of the time. So there's always a position you can take on the court where you can see man and ball. He didn't do either. And then down here at the other end, when Bradley was making an attempt to penetrate, you can't go into a rock move or a spin move in traffic, because if you do, someone's going to leave their man and pick it off, and that's exactly what happened. And I'm sure that's what Coach Les is talking about.
Absolutely.
In fact, I think I can hear him up here.
If we took our headsets off, I think we could hear both coaches.
I know you'd be hearing me.
Yes, indeed. And whether it was at one coast or the other, or in the Valley games, I could hear you.
Well, one of the things that I was blessed with was a big coach's voice, and I could be heard long distances.
And a good foot stamp once in a while.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. My knees are paying a price for that.
Bradley's in the wide if he just joined us.
Extension of the 1-3-1 zone. They're really, really getting wide on it.
Sings at the high post. Outside is Wilson. Now he'll exchange with Darian Norris, 3, who just came in. Bradley trying to get a hoop here. A 3-ball would tie it, but no, they turn it over. Here comes Kansas City. Looked like Humphrey lost the handle, and Wilson comes down.
Well, Roberts got stripped. He got into traffic and is not taking care of the ball. There he is on a nice penetration. Didn't finish.
Roberts athletically off the charts, but so far he's got it. There, look at this. Here's Theron Wilson anticipating and dunking. That's a jam, and that gives the Braves 12 and down by 1. 11:24 to go. First half here at the Alico Arena.
Like we talked about in the open, if Bradley's going to be able to score this year, they're going to have to get it from their defense and get open court shots just like they did.
Singh trying to guard Humphrey. Humphrey might be a little quick for him on the perimeter. Hamilton against Maniscalco, Bradley in man. Sam got beat, layup for 2. 15-12 Bradley's deficit. Braves need to go on some offensive hunt here. Darian Norris, a freshman at 1 guard. Newcomer Roberts on the wing. Here's Theron Wilson. Roberts tries again. Would not go.
Well, you got to knock some of those down. You know, you can get inside against zones, and of course teams don't play zone to give you inside shots. They play zones to make you take outside shots, and that time they were in a 2-3 zone and they had it packed inside.
Oh, Humphrey stepped out of bounds on the charge to the basket, so it's Bradley's ball. But of course, when there is, this looks like a timeout, and we'll be back at Alico Arena with Bradley and Casey in a moment.
Get the best price and the right advice on HD TV and home theater at Sherman's.
Heritage Bank's newest location is your cell phone. Mobile banking, your bank on the go. Visit go-heritage.com and check it out.
We've got a strong local economy, good inventory of properties. The timing's perfect.
And the rates are good.
Good.
Good. Good.
Really good.
Call a realtor today.
Get the best price and the right advice on a huge selection of mattresses at Sherman's.
Products don't know how to find customers, but Comcast Spotlight does. With a mix of on-air, online, and on-demand advertising, you can reach your customers wherever they are.
Think buying insurance is fun and easy? Finding the right company, deciding the right coverage, getting the best price. Fun, easy? It can be overwhelming. And that's why we're here. As a local, independent agent, we can design an insurance program that's just right for you and your family. Live your life. Let us help you protect it. Providing safe, sound, secure protection with Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people.
About energy, and that's what Bradley needs to do to get some scoring on the scoreboard. I mean, the scoreboard is not exactly lit up. Theron Wilson shows how it's done.
High percentage shot.
Speaking of high percentages, UMKC right now is 6 for 10 from the floor.
1 for 1 from 3 and 2 for 2 from the foul line. Bradley 6 for 15 from the floor. The Braves still looking to get the shots to fall. Dodie Dunston penetrates. So does Norris, and he walked. So Darian Norris is called for traveling, and the Kangaroos lead by 3. And a couple of subs
Frank,
come in.
you've got a lot of freshmen and sophomores on both teams, and Bradley has Norris and McCain, and of course a new player in Roberts who's not a freshman.
And Taylor Brown just came in.
Taylor Brown is a freshman, and UMKC has a bunch of sophomores and freshmen, so we're going to see a game that's going to take a while to settle down to be a pretty basketball game.
Exactly. Taylor Brown may have earned some more minutes with his play so far in the first 2 Bradley games.
When I saw the first practice of all the new kids at Bradley over at the Market Center, there you get a turnover with an overplay. Then you see how the UMKC player only faked the backdoor and didn't go all the way, and his teammate thought he would go all the way. But when I looked at the players at the Market Center, Taylor Brown stood out more for me on that one particular practice than any of the new kids.
I've liked him for a long time. He's loose, silky smooth. When he learns the defensive end of the game, he's going to really be a find for Bradley. Norris got inside, tried a teardrop, but he got fouled. Foul's going to be on Latrice Mouchat. And look at number 4, Mouchat, when you see him, young man out of Saginaw, Michigan. He'll knock you around. He's physical.
There's the penetration by Norris, and he tried to finish with the finger roll.
The famous teardrop. Dodie Dunston outside for the Braves. He's been a fine player for Bradley in his first 2 games as a Brave. Bradley looking to cut into the lead here of KC. Posting up, Brown, Roberts. Nice move inside, Theron Wilson off the window. Rebound, Brown, he still got it, steps in, missed it, rebound, no! What a flurry. Bradley had 3 cracks.
Oh, that was an excellent effort by Taylor Brown. The freshman we were just talking about showed us he has energy.
He's got bounce, quick. Ford is in for KC, and a steal by Bradley, and out of bounds to the Kangaroos. The Kangaroos get 25 off the bench, and let's see who else coming in. 25 is not listed on the, see if you can see 25. That's not somebody they gave us.
Oh, that's Daniel Brady.
Oh, okay. Okay, I've got it. Daniel Brady just came in at 6'7", 220 out of Oregon. He came out of Idaho Junior College. So it's a 5-point lead now for Kansas City, and Roberts goes out for the Braves. Bradley needs to find a way to get a rhythm and get some offense. 8:44 first half. McCain slashes. This is Dunson. Not there. Rebound, big time. Theron Wilson on a follow.
We need Theron Wilson. Bradley needs Theron Wilson to show up.
Theron Wilson and Taylor Brown, the last 2 times, really went to the offensive boards. They'll need to do more of that. Dibble cutting away from the ball. Hamilton's in the lane, and he's fouled. It should be a two-shot foul. The officials, by the way, are Lee Cassell, Chuck Jones, and Bart Lennox. And, of course, it'll be a second game, Richmond and Florida Gulf Coast. Remember that Bradley plays the second game tomorrow, and we'll talk about the timing on that more. Hamilton, right through. Reggie Hamilton is off to a roaring start. He's raining threes.
Well, he needs to be for them to be in games because Brummagem normally carries his team. Brummagem is a career 45% three-point shooter. As I mentioned earlier, he's capable of huge games.
Brummagem's 8th rated career-wise in the NCAA, so you know what kind of a shooter he is. Bradley looking at a zone.
Oh, they're going to be looking at a lot of zones until they can get some perimeter shooting or get inside.
Theron Wilson looks very strong on the low block. He looks like he can shake free and get some inside points for the Braves.
Well, Theron Wilson probably is Bradley's best all-around athlete. He's got all kinds of energy. There you see him going up strong, going back up with a second effort, and gets the foul.
All right, well, we'll take a break real quick, and Bradley's down 5. Back in a moment.
Velde Lincoln Mercury Volvo. World-class value, world-class service.
Employee pricing plus on all 08 and 09 Lincoln Mercury during our year-end event, like this 08 Lincoln MKX, $33,566. This 08 Mercury Mariner at $25,481, and this 08 Mercury Mountaineer at $29,793.
Velde Lincoln Mercury Volvo. Pioneer Parkway, Peoria. We deliver world-class value, world-class service.
At Russell Cycling and Fitness in Washington, we make it easy to get started on an exercise program. First, we help match you with the right fitness equipment. And we back each purchase with Russell's exclusive 30-day guaranteed buyback policy. Russell stays with you every step of the way. Sales, service, delivery, and in-home maintenance. No third parties, only Russell's crew of fitness professionals. So visit our showroom at Russell Cycling and Fitness in Washington. We're not only the best place to buy your bicycle, we're the best place to buy your fitness equipment too.
Sports, it's all about teamwork. And as part of a team, we feel it necessary to recognize business teammates who have made our achievements possible. To our loyal customers at Teamworks, we thank you for your continued support and welcome you again soon. We're gearing up for back to school with an expanded showroom, great new spirit wear to support your team, and as your authorized Mizuno team dealer, we have the latest equipment to give your team that competitive edge. Teamworks, we're as passionate and proud of our team as you are of yours.
Bradley Braves are back in action at 7:50 to go in the first half. Bradley with the ball in white, down. It's actually 19-14 is the score. Braves down 5, trying. Here's Sam Maniscalco popping and dropping a 3.
They desperately need some perimeter shooting. Right now, UMKC is shooting 63%, Bradley 35%. That's not a game you're going to win. That's not a numbers game that you can possibly win.
Bradley has made its first 3. It's now 1 for 5 on threes, the Braves. That goal by Maniscalco, while KC is 1 for 1 on threes. Bradley's out rebounding KC 9-8, but that's because of Theron Wilson's 4, and Wilson has 8 points in just these few minutes.
See, now this time you see the zone extended. They're alternating a 2-3 and a 1-3-1 zone. They pack in the 2-3 and they extend the 1-3.
Another offensive foul, and I don't say another because it's just against Bradley. I say another because we've seen so many this early basketball season.
Well, UMKC likes to take charges. They like to get physical, and I thought that was a little bit of a flop, but you know, if it's called, it's called.
Bradley on defense. Defense is a group mentality that starts with the coach, and the coaches have emphasized defense with this quick Bradley team.
White 12, hold.
There's a foul on Theron Wilson, and Bradley will not like that. Wilson's really playing with authority here. Bradley has Maniscalco, McCain, Roberts, Brown, and Wilson.
Well, it's kind of a touch foul, but they call it, and you have to adjust to the officials.
Here's Daniel Brady knocking it in. Brady 6'7", 220, only a sophomore, Lake Oswego, Oregon. That's Matt Brown, the head coach, and a very good one at KC.
His history is that he was at West Virginia for 5 years as an assistant. So it's not surprising to see a lot of 1-3-1 zone because they're famous for that.
Indeed. Inside, once again, Wilson is hammered. Theron Wilson is taking the ball with authority to the rim.
I like Theron Wilson. I think he brings a lot to the table. He needs to maybe, there's that strength inside, a good second effort, ability to draw a foul. Those are all qualities that you like in an athletic player. But perimeter shooting is what this team sorely needs. And the two best shooters, as we've mentioned, are Andrew Warren, who's not available and might not be available for a while. And there's nothing you can do about it. So as a coach, you figure, I got to find some way to win. And
you got to win the game.
And that's why you see a lot of emphasis of trying to punch that ball inside. And Jim Les wants to get his team on the free throw line, into the bonus as much as he can, and score high percentage shots inside.
Bradley's back within 2. I talked to Andrew Warren last night here, and he said he's getting stronger every day, just not quite ready yet. He probably won't play in this tournament. We don't know for sure, of course. Speculation, but Bradley will welcome back Andrew when he's ready, and his outside shooting ability will be great to have for the Braves.
Well, there's a thing called spacing the floor, and you can't space the floor unless you can have people that can hit shots outside. So what happens is the defense will take a chance to compress itself, make it difficult for you to score inside. I mean, we are getting some shots inside, but they're all contested. They're all, under duress. They're all in heavy traffic because they're not concerned about our perimeter shooting, at least at this juncture.
It's an old-fashioned sink.
And not the kitchen sink.
Not at all.
No, it's a good strategy. So some people,
it is.
Some coaches, old Rolly Massimino used to call it the hands up Harry zone. Just get in the lane and put your hands up, Harry. It doesn't matter if you move around very much. Just make them shoot from the outside.
Well, here's a guy that if he gets his hands up, David Collins just came back in at 7 feet, should be able to do some good. This is Femi Akampetide shooting. He came out of Sydney, Australia, and he makes it a 4-point game in favor of the Kangaroos of Kansas City. Bradley down with the ball. Here's a wild pass by the Braves. Somebody was expecting a cut that didn't come or something.
Well, that's Adrian McCain, is responsible for completing the pass. The passer is responsible for completing the pass, and he threw it out of bounds. But he's a freshman. You're going to see stuff like that.
Dibble guarded by Maniscalco, and this is Mushat. Taylor Brown getting some extended minutes here as a freshman. Bradley's defense is good. Hamilton in, blocked by Collins. That's another reason that Collins can help Bradley. Sam M, David Collins, and he's fouled.
That's a good push. You saw David Collins show some passion, be aggressive, get the ball. They grabbed at his arm. The foul wasn't called. And then he ends up getting the shot at the other end. That's pretty good basketball when you got the guy that did the rebound, threw the outlet pass, and ends up getting, who was great at this? Bill Russell.
Bill Russell.
He was so good at it.
He was one of the great winners in the history of basketball.
Yeah, I'd see him block a shot and then dunk on the other end.
Yes, he and Wilt I've got each 55 rebounds in one game. This is David Collins at 7 foot 242, and with a nice touch, soft.
Oh, very nice shooting touch. He just needs to play with passion. And I believe he is making strides in that direction.
I do too. 5:48 to go. In blue, Kansas City, the ball. Brummagem didn't get it. Collins got another rebound. Bradley runs. 2 on 3. Maniscalco gets hung up in the air. When you jump in the air, and bad things happen.
Well, the old coaching technique is there's only one reason to jump in the air, and that's to shoot the ball. Now, sometimes you can change your mind, but it's not a good thing when you have a bunch of players jumping in the air and trying to make passes.
Indeed. This is Hamilton against McCain. McCain a freshman, Hamilton a sophomore. 3-point lead, KC. They look inside to run their offense. Sam got him out of the way with a foul, maybe. Akampetide goes to the glass.
Good
Bradley,
block. Good block.
Wow. Taylor Brown was in there, and Collins, nicely done.
That's what you call a cup block.
All ball.
Well, it says, there's the cup right
Whoa.
on top. Double cup.
Oh, my. Athletic ability. KC trying to get another hoop here as the clock moves toward 5 minutes. Hamilton's free. Teardrop is in. 25-20. Roberts beat the pack. Around and in!
Oh, wow. I'm sorry. That takes athleticism. I saw him going up on the strong side, and I thought, oh, he's going to miss this. And then he floats across.
Wow.
See, I thought he was going up here, and then he floats and comes all the way across. Well, that's Dr. J-esque.
Well, he's that 23 in a blur there for a hot second gave me a flash of you-know-who.
Yeah, well, no.
Nobody could play like that.
No.
But, when you see some kind of athleticism.
It is wonderful to see someone with that kind of skill.
Bradley gets the rebound by Taylor Brown as the ball was bobbled. Bradley's down by 3 with the ball. McCain on a cut, all the way in for 2 and a 1.
That's what he can do. You know, he can rebound as well. He's very athletic, and I'm talking about Edrin McCain, number 1. McCain, his game is this: going to the basket, see his elevation, good finish, strong finish, takes the hit, finds himself on the free throw line.
5'11", 177, and he got 16 rebounds in a high school game. 16.
I think he averaged 7
he
or
averaged
8 in high school or something.
Yeah, almost a triple-double is what his average was, including 22 points. And he got so many of those on steals and runouts.
Now, of course, he needs to work on his perimeter shot, and that'll come. He's a freshman. He's got a decent-looking shot. And I guarantee you he's got an outstanding teacher in Jim Less. As you know, Jim was one ball away, the striped ball, the multicolored ball away in the three-point shooting contest, in the NBA at the All-Star break.
Right.
And I was there, and I saw that ball go, and I knew here was a guy that I had to ask to shoot the ball.
Almost demand.
Yeah, and he's one ball away from being the NBA three-point shooting champion.
Amazing thing. That is really something. By the way, in the CBE Classic in Kansas tonight, Florida plays Syracuse, Kansas against Washington.
I saw Syracuse, and I saw them against Richmond. And Richmond,
two nice teams.
Richmond, I believe, had a 6 or 7 point lead at halftime. And Richmond's a really good basketball team. They really pass the ball.
Here's a tip out, and Brummagem has it for Kansas City. The Kangaroos have clung to a lead most of the first half against the Bradley Braves, who are in white. Glad you're watching on Comcast throughout the state of Illinois and Metro Sports in Kansas City. Welcome to our broadcast. We're delighted you're with us. Chris, this is McCain against Hamilton. Hamilton's got the ball a lot. He sends one up. No. Taylor Brown had his hand on the rebound, slipped it away, and KC will get it back.
You know, when you're a coach and you have an aggressive effort like Taylor Brown going for that rebound, even though he didn't get it, you don't care. You'll love the aggression.
Absolutely right. The effort is, well, when you talk about Bradley's coach, the word effort just comes to my mind.
You remember how he used to dive from behind and get floor burns trying to get a steal?
That he did. Of course, Missouri Valley Player of the Year, one of 3 Bradley guards in a row that won that honor. Here's Dane Brummagem missing. Long rebound, Mushat missed Brummagem on a follow. Should have been blocked away from the board. Bradley down 3. Sam Maniscalco buried in the corner. Kick, that's a swing, that's a skip pass actually. This is Brown. Bradley still not being able to hit the outside shot, and they trail by 3.
Well, when you don't have great outside shooters in the ball game, you have to be a little more patient as to which shot you're going to take.
Good point. Certainly, Bradley has lots of ability, but probably their best perimeter shooter is Andrew Warren. I mean, he's the 4th leading returning scorer in the Valley, so we'll be back. There is a 3:13 to go in the game. Bradley's down by 3 here in the first half. We'll be back in a moment.
Whether you've got the next Bradley basketball star in training or you're just having fun with the kids, count on the durability of a Goal Setter basketball system exclusively at Rainbow Play Systems. Goal Setter basketball systems have the proven performance and engineering to provide years of fun. The Goal Setter's patented compression jack system and offset pole design make this unit superior to other basketball goals. Visit Rainbow Play Systems today to try the Goal Setter basketball system for yourself and get a free pole pad with your purchase. Goal Setter basketball systems, the best in basketball.
But we wanted a bank that was local and had a presence right here in Peoria. We've been working with the State Bank of Spear only about a year now, but they've been in business for over 100 years. And that gave us some confidence in knowing that we're going to be working together for a long time to come. I would definitely recommend the State Bank of Spear to any business that's looking for local service and a good value.
Check out Peoria Banking Center's completely free checking accounts. The Peoria Banking Center in the Candletree Center on North University, Peoria.
Scissors for hair, more than just a haircut. Family owned for over 20 years. We're open 7 days a week, appointments or walk-ins. We have the biggest selection of home hair care products. You're sure to find what you're looking for. Stop in or make an appointment for the whole family. Our experienced staff is ready to meet your needs. Scissors for Hair, centrally located in University Plaza in Peoria. 688-0600.
Dodie sorry, look, I saw it too. I thought it was Dodie Dunson. That was Theron Wilson.
Theron, number 12, yes, all right. All right, we're in Fort Myers, Florida, just upstream from the Gulf of Mexico and the Caloosahatchee River, where it was 80 degrees today, and Bradley'd like to get some heat on their shooting. Number 12.
Well, things are evening out a little bit better, Frank. UMKC is at 42.9% from the floor, and Bradley's at 41.7%.
Smooth stroking Dustin Dibble just knocked in two, and it's a 5-point lead. If my memory's right, that's the largest, tied for the largest lead by KC. McCain is number one. This is Norris, another freshman. Maniscalco, a sophomore. Almost all zone against Bradley. Fake and go. Norris from Las Vegas slips into the lane, missed it, and the ball's tipped out of bounds to Kansas City. Bradley's out of sync on offense for the moment.
Yeah, they're out of sync a little bit, but they showed very good patience. Remember what I was talking about? When you don't have great perimeter shooting, you got to really work it a little bit. They ended up getting a layup. It was a freshman. Darian Norris just missed it. I mean, it was a totally makeable shot.
Oh, this team, Bradley's team, is making progress every day. It's just, here's a turnover. Bradley's defense has been a constant. They've been able to, I mean, there's been lapses here and there, but the pressure on the ball is good. The quickness, the athleticism, they get a lot of deflections, and therefore you can come back in a game.
But sometimes what you do offensively kind of feeds what you do defensively, and they do need to make a few baskets to get a little more punch. I think that ball was out of bounds.
Turnover on the Braves, and there's only 2:21 left here in the first half, and Bradley is looking down a 5-point deficit, and KC has the ball. Will they be patient now that they have a lead, or are they going to just play their normal game?
I think they'll play their normal game. They'll try to look for perimeter shots, penetrate.
That's what Mushat did, and he knocked it off the window in.
Mushat's a very good athlete. He had some Big Ten offers as a defensive halfback out of Saginaw, Michigan.
Mushat's a big kid, very strong, 6'5", 210. Here's another steal by KC. Brummagem on a run out, he got a stuff. Dane Brummagem explodes the lead to 33-24. KC is juiced. They know who they're playing, and this is a big game for them, as Wichita State was. Bradley tries to answer. Offensive foul on the Braves.
Well, I think Edrin McCain is going to have to learn that in Division I, you cannot jump in the air to throw every pass. I mean, it's not like he jumps in the air once in a while. I want to say it's in the 70 to 80% time that he passes the ball. He's going into the lane. He makes a nice penetration. Nothing wrong with that. And then he just jumps to make the pass. That doesn't work. Not in Division I.
Here's a turnover by KC, and into the game for the Braves is Chris Roberts, and McCain sits down. Maniscalco and
well, they're going to have to get some shots for Sam Maniscalco. He's the best perimeter shooter. I see now Coach Les has got it moved over on the wing, so he's got a better opportunity to shoot the ball.
Here's another whistle. Now it's another offensive foul. Now remember, Dunson is not in the game. Dunson picked up a second foul, and he's been limited because of two personals. So has Wilson, and so has Collins.
Well, I was talking to Coach Les, at the shoot-around today about the number of charges that this team takes. When I saw UMKC play Kansas at Kansas, they picked up a lot of charges. And I know Coach Les said to me, hey, I know, I'm aware of it. I'm trying to make my guys aware of it. But it's not enough for the coaches just to say, hey, look, this is what's going to happen. The players have to adjust. And when you have a lot of freshmen out there, a lot of new players, you know, whether they're first-year junior college players or they're freshmen, and you have that amount of inexperience, sometimes the tips and the wisdom that you give them, they don't garner it, they don't gather it, you know.
Right.
So that's just a process. It's a process.
Indeed.
And sometimes it's uncomfortable.
I do need to mention special friends of Bradley basketball on Comcast Television. There are great supporters and fans of Bradley. BradleyFans.com. Bradley students, alumni, fans of all ages on the internet, talking Bradley basketball. Core Construction, Wayne Baum and Steve Rushley and all the gang there with their, here are the wonderful friends of Bradley basketball. You see Proctor First Care, Total Income Tax, Sharp Family Corporation, Zobrist Construction. We'll talk more about them at the half, in the second half, as we go forward. They deserve some of our time here as great fans. All right. Bradley down 9, 45 seconds. Hamilton's had the ball a lot. Here's Brummagem way outside, a bullet.
He's simply going to shoot it. I mean, if you step behind a screen or you go through on a screen, he's going to fire it. He's got the green light. Now he's feeling it. Not a good thing.
12-point KC lead here in Game 1 of the CBE Classic in Fort Myers, Florida. Zone, we've said it all half. They've just sat in zones, challenged Bradley to shoot the outside shot. And with now 10 seconds here in the first half, Bradley's going to try to get a closing basket in this half. 4. Sam throws it inside to Collins. The shot clock go off?
I think it did.
Yeah. There's 1.5 seconds. And KC gets a toss from three-quarter court, and that is the halftime score. It is KC 36 and Bradley 24.
Well, it's zone, zone, and more zone, and you're going to see more zone in the second half.
And again, Bradley will have to answer some way or the other. Maybe the pressure to speed up the other team. Here's the great play by Chris Roberts. And
Chris Roberts is very athletic, but he's not a knockdown perimeter shooter. He's got a decent looking shot. It's going to get better and better. I think the guy that needs to shoot the ball, you know, with the lineup that Coach Les has in there is Sam Maniscalco. But I haven't seen him get great looks, you know, but I've seen him pass up some looks that he probably should take, and just live with the result.
Sure.
Dodie Dunson showed in earlier games that he can shoot the ball a little bit from the perimeter.
Yeah, he can. There's no question. Well, we'll be back here at the Classic right after this break. Bradley down 12 at the half. Well, I am a very fortunate man today because one of my all-time favorite coaches, one of the best basketball players, coaches, and ADs, but a spectacular basketball coach, Chuck Orsborn is here, and he's in his native state of Florida now. Oz, it's great to see you. Welcome to the broadcast. How are you?
Thank you. Glad to see you, and you're still full of it.
No doubt. Isn't it about a happy birthday for you?
A little late.
A little late.
It was a week ago, 91.
Magnificent and still going strong.
Well, I'm not sure of that.
Okay, I'm interested. You were such a good coach. Who helped you become a good basketball coach?
All the players.
Well, I thought maybe you had a mentor that was a coach and somebody that you followed.
No. I learned a lot of offensive basketball from Forty Anderson.
Okay.
But very little defensive basketball from Forty.
Uh-huh.
And I think I picked up some from Robbie. The fast break was what we learned when I played for Robbie.
Yeah.
And in those days, full court presses were not prevalent. So if you could do that, or your team would do that pretty well, it usually was fairly effective.
I thought you were ahead of your time as a coach with the presses that you used in a game that you had one time when you had a player, Chet Walker, had early fouls and you held the ball and actually a long time and then won the game. I thought you were really just ahead of your time a bit.
Well, I'd like to think that too, but I doubt if I had anything new. that Hank Iba didn't know,
Sure,
and
sure.
Adolph Rupp didn't know.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
Who were
Joe
some
Lapchick didn't know.
Wow, yeah. Who were some of the players that you coached that were special to you?
Well, I've often said that Bobby Joe Mason was the most effective player that I was on one of my teams. I didn't say he was the best player, but with his stature, his size and so forth, and his quickness, whether he retrieved a loose ball or got it off a board, there's no difference. It's a possession of the ball.
Yeah.
So Bobby Joe probably was the most effective. Now, I'm here with one of the players that I thought did the most with his ability, and that was Gene Morse.
Interesting.
He often had to
guarded one of the...
tried to guard Oscar Robertson, and that didn't work out too well. But he always gave you everything he had. And that's how I judge people.
Yeah.
You do the best you can. Nobody can ask you to do more than that.
And that's what you've done for Bradley and for basketball. And thank you so much for coming by.
My pleasure, sir.
Chuck Orsborn, legendary coach of Bradley University and all of college basketball, one of our great friends. Thanks. And we'll be back here at the Alico Arena in just a moment.
Hi, this is Keith from Velde Lincoln Mercury Volvo, and welcome to another car clinic. With winter coming upon us here, we wanted to show you a few things that you can watch for yourselves to get you through the winter months. One of the main things that we find is that when the ice and snow comes, you want to always make sure that your wiper blades are free from the glass before you turn them on. If you turn the wiper motor on and these are frozen to glass, it can damage the motor. That's an expensive repair. Another thing you want to watch for is tire condition. Tires without the proper tread on them in the snow won't get you anywhere. Tires typically start off with about 30 seconds of tread. You want to always measure it from the center. We can tell you what that measurement is and put it into our multi-point inspection so that you can see it. Another thing is battery condition. A battery won't give you any indication that it's about to go. It just won't start tomorrow morning when you get ready to go to work. What we'll do is check for battery connections here for corrosion. We'll check with our electronic tester to make sure that the condition of the internal battery is good so you can get through the winter months. Another major thing is coolant. Dirty coolant will clog your system internally, take away your heater, take away your defroster. You can't see. That's dangerous. Also, if you don't have the proper coolant protection in here, you can freeze the internal components of the engine, another expensive repair. Those are just some things that we can check for you quickly and easily. It's deer season, so let's go to the body shop. Welcome to our body shop located on the west side of our building right next to our tire warehouse. Whether it's color match paint to baking your new car finish to taking care of major repairs on your car, we can do it all here in our body shop. We take care of all makes and models. Remember, your insurance company cannot dictate where you repair your car. The final decision is yours. I'm Keith. Thanks for being with us today. We look forward to seeing you at Velde Lincoln Mercury Volvo.
If you want to say anything about any of these, let me know. Kansas City 36, Bradley 24 at halftime, and Friends of Bradley basketball on Comcast include Core Construction, Building Green. They have relationships, solution, and value since 1937. They are in Arizona, Florida, Nevada, Texas, and Illinois. Great Friends of Bradley. Proctor First Care, they have, of course, minor emergencies. They have a physician on staff. They have staff all the time. They take care of physical exams, do all the kind of work that you need done for your health. Todd Baker and the gang at Proctor First Care all over Central Illinois. BradleyFans.com, we mentioned briefly. Bradley students, alumni, friends all over talking Bradley basketball all the time on the internet. Join that. They get millions of hits a month. Total income tax, Bill Sharp and his family. Long-term commitment to Bradley. They can do your taxes, everything else. Zobrist Construction, founder was Noah, I remember years ago, and they have just unbelievable longevity, reputation, excellence, and we thank them all for being Friends of Bradley basketball. We're here at halftime. Coach Versace, anything on the stat sheet that you can see?
Yeah, well, we talked, at the outset of this game that the damage from UMKC would come from two places. Dane Brummagem and, of course, Mr. Hamilton. Reggie Hamilton. Reggie Hamilton's 5 for 8 from the floor. Brummagem is 5 for 8 from the floor. They're shooting almost 50%, 48%. They're perfect from the line. They're 10 for 10. While on the other hand, Bradley's only key scorer right now is Theron Wilson, who's 4 for 6 from the floor, 2 for 2 from the free throw line for a total of 10 points. Other than that, no one else has any more than 4. Bradley's shooting 40%, not getting to the line like they can. They're only 3 for 6 from the free throw line. So that's basically the story of the game. Both teams shooting the same number of shots from the floor, 25, with UMKC making 12 and Bradley making 10. So the free throw line really is the difference.
And I'll tell you, Dick, the minutes, Theron Wilson's played 13 minutes, and Dodie Dunson, Bradley's leading scorer, has only played 9 minutes in the first half. Of course, they both had 2 fouls, and so Bradley has had no one play more than 16 minutes, and that was Chris Roberts, and the Braves are only 3 for 6 at the foul line, while KC is 10 for 10. Rebounds at 16 for KC, 14 for Bradley. And 12 turnovers for KC. Bradley's done a good job defensively, but they've made 16 turnovers, and a lot of those are those Chargers.
Not just that, unforced turnovers.
Absolutely.
And that's not a healthy thing.
We'll come back with the second half right after this.
And as far as the offensive output for the Bradley Braves in the first half of this game against UMKC, he's got a little help from a friend here, a new friend, Chris Roberts. How about that? Little Dr. J type move. I think Roberts, now here you're seeing penetration by another newcomer, Edwin McCain, and I wonder who he voted for. And Dodie Dunson, who's had some foul trouble, and look for him to make his mark in the second half.
Well, Coach, you've done this. You've been there. You've had Jim Les as a player. What do you suppose Jim was emphasizing the most in that locker room?
Well, I never underestimate what Jim can get a team to do. If you remember the UIC game, they shot 17% in the first half. They couldn't buy a basket with a fistful of 20s, and
only had 3 field goals the first half.
Right, it was just unbelievable. And I know I would have broken blackboards and doors, and but he's a cool customer. He has the fire inside, but I think he's way better than I was at that kind of thing, and I'm sure that he understands the situation. They were in some foul trouble early. We're not hitting perimeter shots. We're having a tough time getting the ball inside, and we're turning the ball over. Now, we forced UMKC to have 13 turnovers. That's all they've been averaging, so they got a whole nother half to add to the turnovers, by the opponent. And if Bradley can hold its turnovers down, force another 13 turnovers, and make those become easy baskets, they can get right back in this thing, and I think Jim Les knows that.
Jim Les, his coaching record in the last 3 years is remarkable. 65 victories in the last 3 years, including postseason in each of those years, including Bradley playing in the Sweet 16 NCAA.
I know I never did that, and I had a good run at Bradley, and some will say a great run, but I consider it a very, very good run.
Well, 32-3.
Well, that was one year. Jim has been consistent in these last 3 years. In these last 3 years, averaging 21.7, wins per game. Yeah. Wins per season. You have to admire that, and I don't know if there's you probably know better than I if there's been another Bradley coach that's put 3 20-win seasons together like that. Maybe the great Chuck Osborne did. I know I never did.
That's a really remarkable thing, and one thing I can a compliment to any coach is his players get better and better and better, and especially when they're seniors, they have good senior years, and especially the JCs that come in, the senior year is usually very good. We're back. Second half, Bradley and White on defense, blocked by Collins, rebound inside, and a 2-pointer for Spencer Johnson.
Well, when David Collins blocked that shot, you need another white shirt in there to get the rebound, and everyone kind of stood around and watched inside to Collins.
Bradley moves the ball to Dodie Dunson for 3. Dodie hits his first shot of the second half, and remember, he played only 9 minutes. Bradley is down 11. But there is a long way to go in this game. Something tells me there'll be a run by the Braves in the second half someplace. Nice touch. Very nice touch. I was blocked out. I think it was Mushat that hit that. Yeah, it was. So it's 40-27. Collins in the middle. Dunson sneaks in. Collins kicks it back out. Bradley being patient, making extra passes. 13 to shoot. Roberts faked his man into another county and missed it. Nice rebound, Dunson.
Well, Bradley certainly needs what he brings to the table. He brings energy, he brings perimeter shooting, he brings the ability to slash and finish. And that time, that was a basket that was sorely needed.
You'll see, I think, Dunson joined Theron Wilson this half in being a couple of the guys that can try to bring Bradley back. And there's Sam Maniscalco hawking Hawkins. He goes around Maniscalco and is blocked away by Collins.
No, I think the basket went in. Yeah,
goodness sakes.
I thought it was blocked too, but it
went off his finger, but it went in the basket all right, and it's 42-29. KC with the lead. And a whistle foul on the Kangaroos. It's on Spencer Johnson, 6'6" out of Champaign.
Well, Bradley's trying to get inside that zone, and that's a good strategy. But when you go inside to a player and he's in the middle of a zone, you can't put the ball on the floor because you're going to have 6 pairs of hands trying to get it back.
There's Collins from just inside the foul line, and a foul on the Braves.
I see, like David Collins thought about it. There was nothing to think about it. He had a wide open turnaround, 12-foot jumper. Just shoot it and live with the result. And he only shot it when he realized that, hey, I should have shot it. And then he rushed it after that.
And he's almost a 70% free throw shooter. He shot over 60+% from the field last year, so he can get the ball in the basket's my point.
Oh, no, he's got a nice offensive game. There's been no complaints about his offensive abilities. It's just his energy levels that he brings and the lack of passion at times that he doesn't bring.
Double on Mushat. Bradley's defense was good. He got it away to Dibble. A run out for Mushat. He pulls up, drills it. 44-29. Kansas City's played very well here today, and their zone has been effective. Bradley trying to come back. Dunson, Maniscalco, Roberts, Singh, and Theron Wilson. Dunson again. Pop, not good. Rebound, Mushat. Torn away by Bradley. Foul, and nicely done by Chris Roberts as he got his hands on the ball and went to take it back up.
Well, sometimes, when your performance is less than your own personal expectations, the collective fear that you start to gather in, results in some hesitation like you saw there. Chris Roberts got the ball. He should have just gone right up with it, and he seemed to be hesitant. And that can work against you, and sometimes you can overcome it, and your energy levels need to become a part of the equation of what you're trying to do.
Roberts will have another. He made the first. He got him down, and Bradley's down 13. Kansas City's played well today, shot the ball well. They've just impeccable at the free throw line, and they're playing zone against Bradley on the other end. Mushat on a right wing. Hamilton way outside, not there. Sam Singh hauls the rebound down and then threw it to Hamilton for a miss. Singh's going to get another rebound, and this time Bradley will keep the ball. Fake and go, Roberts. Wilson's pass is too high for Maniscalco, and Bradley gives the ball up.
Well, they say errors beget errors, and that's it starts to spread, it becomes an epidemic, and that needs to be gotten under control. And I'm sure they will as this game goes on, but this is a difficult team, UMKC, to pressure because they run those back cuts, and now they're feeling it. Yeah. And, every shot guys who didn't show up for the first 3 games are all of a sudden showing up.
Yes, Mushat just knocked that one down with all the confidence that comes from a 15-point lead. Here's Bradley around the perimeter. Shot missed by Maniscalco, rebounded by Theron Wilson. And I think there's a foul called. It's like Theron was fouled on that play. Bradley's got a little mountain to climb here.
Yeah, they've kind of dug themselves a hole. You see Sam Singh in there and Theron Wilson both fighting to get the ball. And luckily there was a force out. Bradley's possession.
Dodie Dunson. Here's a high lob inside to Roberts with a scintillating slam dunk.
You can
that was like
Jim
an
Les
ATO.
Yeah, it was an ATO. An ATO without the TO.
Yes, without the TO. After timeout is how Dick talks about Jim Les being an excellent ATO coach. And you can always tell when they run the set plays. Bradley's extended the pressure full court. Dibble and Brummagem are handling the ball against the pressure. Bradley'd like to get an easy basket on a turnover run out. Just to get him going. That dunk by Roberts.
Well, it's all about stops, Frank. You need to get stops, and that's not what you need. You can't have the other team shooting 2-foot layups and little short shots and putbacks inside. You've got to get more physical, and you need stops.
Hamilton just hit one from point blank range. Bradley misses. Here's Sam Singh on the rebound, and he's fouled. Bradley not hitting the outside shot, and here's a timeout on the court. 48-33 in favor of KC. We'll be back in just a moment.
Madness. It's not just great basketball, it's 4 action-packed days, 9 exciting matchups, 10 Valley teams, 100 players, thousands of wild fans, and an amazing array of attractions, activities, and restaurants in St. Louis. It's the 2009 State Farm Missouri Valley Conference Men's Basketball Tournament, March 5th through 8th at Scott Trade Center. Arch Madness. It's the one weekend no basketball fan can miss. Get your tickets now.
What you choose today determines your tomorrows. Choose well.
I'm Dr. Keith Kramer. Live life well.
Kramer Chiropractic and Acupuncture. Call now to get started.
Heritage Bank's newest location is your cell phone. Mobile banking. Your bank on the go. Visit go-heritage.com and check it out.
We've got a strong local economy, good inventory of properties. The timing's perfect.
And the rates are good.
Good.
Good. Good.
Really good.
Call the Realtor today.
Products don't know how to find customers, but Comcast Spotlight does. With a mix of on-air, online, and on-demand advertising, you can reach your customers wherever they are.
If you want to see some athleticism, take a look at Chris Roberts. Oh my gosh, and that was a wonderful play set up by Coach Jim Les. They're very, very good at those after timeout plays, or that really wasn't a timeout. He called that from a lull in the action.
Absolutely what it was. This is Sam Singh, but Roberts, on that dunk, if you don't know, he's 6'4", not 6'7", and he's got hops. Singh makes the free throw.
Oh, I think before it's all over, everyone who watches Bradley basketball games is going to like Chris Roberts an awful lot. He's a good kid as well as an outstanding talent.
Singh made a couple of free throws. Bradley has Roberts. Theron Wilson. Here's a Bradley 1-3-1 with Theron at the point, Sam at the bottom, and Dodie, Sam Singh, and Chris Roberts across the middle.
You got to find your shooters when you play this zone. It's an extended zone. You got to find Brummagem. You got to find Hamilton.
Dibble.
Bang. And Dibble.
Bullseye. Dustin Dibble. 51-35 KC, shooting the lights out. They have just really shot with confidence in this game.
Well, you know, there's a thing called slippage. If you saw Bradley practice, they don't play with this kind of lack of energy, lack of confidence, lack of execution. Because in practice, coaches got them doing it. But what happens is you go from the practice court to the main court with the lights on, so to speak, and then all of a sudden you get great slippage from what you did in practice to what you're doing in games. And right now we're looking at tremendous slippage by our Bradley Braves.
Sam Maniscalco made that last basket, getting to the basket, which he did so often last year. Sam would be able to attack the glass and somehow get the ball off, up, and in, being only 6 feet tall.
Yeah, he's a good finisher. He has that Steve Nash finish. But, you know, he's been looking at a zone most of the night, so those opportunities aren't there for him.
Bradley back to man on this trip down as Hamilton has the ball a lot of the time for KC. There's Brummagem on the left wing. He's number 3. Real crack shot. They're going to try to get the ball to him now. Dunson covers him up, and Sam Singh tips the ball away. Just under 14 minutes left to play in the second half. Frank Bissoni, along with Dick Versace, speaking from Fort Myers, Florida at the Alico Arena. We're glad you're with us, whether you're in Illinois or Kansas City. Here's the ball shot by Dibble, and Bradley's got the try on a run out. Roberts gets to the basket.
That's what I was hoping we would see a lot of, those transition baskets, but those have to be triggered by rebounding missed shots and forcing turnovers.
Bradley did do that the last time down and cut the lead to a dozen. Here comes another three-point shot, not good by Mushat. Chris Roberts.
Give it up.
Skies, too much dribbling, huh? Here's Dodie Dunson. John Wooden once said, the perfect game will never be played, but if it was, the ball would never touch the floor.
Well said. Well said. Well, what happens is when a guy who's not normally a ball handler gets in open court and starts to handle the ball, he usually takes one dribble too many. And that's what I was afraid Chris Roberts was going to do. And he really should have pushed the ball up to Sam Maniscalco and let Maniscalco make a play. I mean, Roberts made a nice move getting the ball off the glass, but, you know, he compounded something good into an error on the other end. At least a mental error anyway.
And McCain replaced him for a moment while Coach Les talks to him about that. Here's a steal by the Braves. Singh got it, and here comes Maniscalco. Can he get one in from the foul line? Yes! Bradley's back within 10. They were down 15 at the 15:42-24 mark, and now it looks like KC wants to call a timeout, and we'll be back at the Alico Arena as Bradley's trying to mount a comeback. Stay with us.
Whether you've got the next Bradley basketball star in training or you're just having fun with the kids, count on the durability of a Goal Setter basketball system exclusively at Rainbow Play Systems. Goal Setter basketball systems have the proven performance and engineering to provide years of fun. The Goal Setter's patented compression jack system and offset pole design make this unit superior to other basketball goals. Visit Rainbow Play Systems today to try the Goal Setter basketball system for yourself and get a free pole pad with your purchase. Goal Setter basketball systems.
With Bradley and KC, Bradley was 15 down just a little bit ago, has cut 5 off of it, Dick.
Yeah, and this could be a huge momentum stop for Bradley. They need to lock in, play excellent defense, make sure they don't foul, don't put them on the line. This team is perfect from the line tonight, 10-10, and just try to make a miss.
Brady is in for KC on that timeout. Trey McKinney-Jones is 22. Good athlete. Here's a pop by Brummagem right there. He's a bullseye shooter. There goes the lead back to 13 as they ran a set play for Brummagem, who knocked it in. McCain's at the point. Theron Wilson hasn't had the ball a lot in this half. And Dunson's also an effective offensive performer. Skip passes. McCain tries a 3. Does not get it. And KC has the rebound. Bradley tried to get a little run going there, but Brummagem silenced it for the moment. But there's a lot of time left in this game.
No, there's plenty of time, and all they need is a couple of runs, to tighten it up, for the shooters for UMKC. Right now, they're playing pretty free, and this guy is like.
There's a ball that bounced off of a Brave after Brummagem lost it. Dibble comes back in for KC.
See, when you give a guy like Brummagem the green light, it makes it easier to make shots. He feels like he's ordered to shoot, not to make.
You got it. We'll be back in a moment. Back to action here. KC in blue with the ball and a 13-point advantage. Bradley needs a stop, and they
got it. Shot clock.
Absolutely. The clock went off.
UMKC came out of the timeout, and they were not
they
aware.
forgot.
Nobody. I've been there. I made the mistake. Believe me, no one knew what the shot clock was at.
Bradley with the ball. McCain goes to the rim. He did not get that to fall. Amazing. Maybe.
Those are finishes you have to make. There's just no excuse for not finishing that. Get your face up and finish. That's a layup.
It's a layup.
It's uncontested.
Yeah, he just got wide open look there from 1 foot, point blank. Mushat is feeling it, and he just knocked down another three.
I mean, Mushat was nowhere to be seen in the first 3 games that this team played. But he is athletic, and it was only a matter of time.
Now Bradley needs to answer. That lead is back to 15. Bradley cut it to 10. Now here's another jump shot by Wilson. He did not get it. Theron hasn't had many shots here in the second half. Hasn't had the ball a lot. Bradley searching for the right combination, hoping to make some stops defensively and hit some shots. Spencer Johnson missed a long three, and the Braves have it. Doty Dunson, choppy game. This is Maniscalco. Sam, skip pass. Inside Singh should be free. He got the ball and got held, didn't get it in, but he got fouled.
And Sam Singh did a pretty nice job there of sealing his man inside. So when the skip pass was made from one side of the court to the other, and then the man in the corner I think it was Dunson, was able to punch the ball inside to Sam Singh, and he got himself on the free throw line.
That 2 for 2, Sam Singh at the line. Bradley has done well at the line, 7 for 10, of course, 10 for 10 for Kansas City. A perfect free throwing night.
You know, you're talking about Theron Wilson before, Frank. You know, he's not going to stand out easily when the other team is playing zone, because that's not his game. His game isn't to step to the perimeter and knock down jump shots, and it's pretty hard to use his post-up ability against the zone. So pretty much he's a relay man. He's going to have to get some second efforts, missed shots, and whatever else he can find in transition.
Good point. Sam Singh and Sam Maniscalco go out. David Collins comes back in for Bradley, the 7-foot center. Braves are trapping the ball. Under 10 minutes, 14-point lead, Kansas City. Bradley looking to have another run to see if this time they can take it back down closer. Here they get the turnover. There's your defensive stop. Now it's converting on the other end. Roberts. And 2-on-2 run. Trey, McKinney, Jones, 2.
Oh, that's exactly what Bradley wants to do. They want to get stops and get the ball out in transition and get easy baskets. Unfortunately, it was UMKC that was able to do that on that exchange.
This is a team. Here's an offensive foul on the Braves?
I believe it was David Collins.
Their zone has made up a little bit for the fact that their tallest man is 6'7". Bradley's got, of course, a player that's played at 7 feet, Sam Singh at 6'9". The other two bigs haven't played.
But I always used to say I'd rather have a guy at 6'9" that can jump and play than a guy 7'4" that can't.
That's right.
Or won't, or doesn't.
Yeah, players come in all the sizes, and it doesn't really matter if you can do it. Here's Reggie Hamilton trying to do it. He missed this time. Collins gets the rebound for the Braves. There's still just short of 9 minutes left. 58-42.
You know, I thought this team was going to be a dangerous opponent. You know, Their name is UMKC. It isn't Kansas, you know. It isn't Missouri. And yet when they played Kansas at Kansas and they played them even for one half, I was pretty impressed with what they did.
And now you can see why they won at Wichita.
They won at Wichita, lost to Florida Atlantic. But
here's Dodie Dunson's stop, that's not good. Rebound, and KC tries to go. Bradley has shot before this game 39% from the field, but 24% on threes and 69% from the foul line. Kansas City has shot just 34% from the field and 31 on threes before this game. But they've really had a lot of luck with their shooting and confidence. Look at that drive to the basket by Reggie Hamilton. And he's starting to pile up some points too.
Well, you know, you've got Dibble and Mushat, who really didn't do much in the first two games, and it was up to Hamilton and Brummagem. Now you've got four weapons out there. You have four weapons out there that makes it even more difficult. Now all of a sudden they're getting easy baskets, unmolested layups. And I'm sure Coach Les is really concerned about the amount of slippage he's getting from what they do in practice to what they're doing in the game.
It's a good point. Hamilton's already got 18. And here's Sammy Mann.
That's one of the toughest shots in basketball, the mid-range jumper. You know, all the separator for great pro players are guys that can shoot the three, finish at the basket, and make the mid-range shot. And there's a lot of guys that can shoot the three, a lot of guys that can finish at the basket, but there's not many that can do all three. So that's
interesting. Yeah,
it's a very valuable weapon to have, the mid-range jumper.
Dana Altman of Creighton made the point. He thought there'd be fewer pull-up threes because of that extra foot this year. It's 19-9 to 29. Bob Knight said he thought the great shooters would adjust to it rather rapidly and it wouldn't be a big factor. Of course, there's opinions as long as there's people. Here's David Collins in the lane, lips it out.
I kind of agree with Coach Knight, and it's not always a lot that we agreed on. But I do agree with him on that. I don't think that extra foot is going to make any difference at all.
Interesting.
There'd be a few people, Frank, that it might affect, but
somebody that's at the edge of their range at 20 feet, yeah.
No, across the board, I would say no.
All right, here's the exchange of the ball again. Here's the take a look at this, Dick.
Well, there's the effort to try to pick up the charge, and that's the kind of shot that you don't want to give up. When you allow penetration, someone's got to stop it, and that's usually what happens. You end up putting somebody on the foul line.
We'll be right back. All right, we're back in action with 7:30 to play. Remember, Bradley plays in the second game tomorrow. Now, that is listed at 6 p.m. Peoria time, 7 p.m. here, but it's hardly likely. Here's a nice move by Sam Maniscalco.
I've felt all along that if Bradley's going to be successful this year, they're going to need to have Sam be more of an offensive player. And, of course, they dearly miss, what Andrew Warren brings to the table. So you take those two elements out, for whatever reason, you're left with a bunch of slashers, athletic guys who can take the ball with the basket, but they're much more effective against man-to-man. You have to have some way to knock down perimeter shots to really beat zones.
And that's
really, why people play zones.
Exactly. That's really Andrew Warren's game. I mean, he is a very good perimeter player. He's an excellent shooter and fourth returning scorer in the league. So here's a nice slash to the goal again.
Yeah, and that's the way it goes. When it's going bad, all of a sudden, it seems like everything's going good for the other team.
Will Egolf in the game for Bradley. Double teamed in the post, now tripled. Here's back out to Maniscalco. He goes through two men and is fouled. I was making the point that even though we're listed at coming on at 6 o'clock Central Illinois time tomorrow, it will likely be later than that because of the time of the first game completing.
Yeah, that was good penetration by Sam Maniscalco, and he avoided the charge, which I was happy to see because UMKC does a great job of picking up charges.
Free throw good by Sam. It'll be just a matter of time before Sam Maniscalco is back on his game, and he hasn't practiced as much as everybody else either with his, tweaked his foot and things like that.
Right. But he's a tough kid, and if he's hurt, he'll play hurt. There's a difference between being hurt and being injured. If you're injured, you can't play. If If you don't play because you're hurt, then there'd be very few people playing.
That's right.
I mean, you have to play hurt.
That's right.
And Sam demonstrates that, consistently that he's willing. He's hurting right now. Now he's not injured, but he's definitely playing with some hurts.
Yeah, especially as the season goes on with the wear and tear and the number of games. Here's Chris Roberts open on the wing. Too long. Oh, nice effort by Theron Wilson. He almost tipped it in. If things were going your way at all, that would have gone in. Bradley has just over 6 minutes left to play in a game that they're down 17.
Well, I'm sure they're disappointed.
Willie Golf got his hand on an outlet.
And it's not any one thing. I mean, you can't just look out there and say it's this or it's that or it's your defense. If you would point to one thing, it's perimeter shooting. It's pretty evident that there's a dearth of it. And there's nothing you can do about it, because if you had Maniscalco shooting the ball from the perimeter, Warren shooting the ball from the perimeter, it'd be a different team.
And Dunson and Theron Wilson throwing in some mid-range jumpers and things like that.
Exactly, and those guys can hit occasional threes like Dunson did against UIC. He hit, I believe, 3 threes against them.
Yep.
But he's not known as a three-point shooter.
That's right. The time is 5:46. The Bradley Braves with the basketball, trying to save a little clock, and what they really need is to get hot for a few minutes, make a little run. Ball is on the wing, back out to Sam up top. There's a three, and he got fouled, I believe, on the three. Three free throws.
It's a funny thing. You shoot the ball, good things happen.
That's good.
3 things can happen. You can make it. That's good. You can miss it. That's bad. You can get fouled. That's good. So 2 of the 3 things that can happen to you are good. So if you're a good shooter and you got a wide open shot, it's your responsibility to shoot the ball. It's your responsibility to shoot it. Now, if you're a low percentage shooter, and you're a playmaker, but if you can shoot it and you have good looks, it's your responsibility to shoot that ball and live with what happens.
Sure, you talk about shot selection for that reason. You get the right shot for the right shooter.
I can remember when I first had Hersey Hawkins and I was teaching my zone offense, and I put him in the corner and I said, put your heels on 1 inch from the out of bounds line. And he said, why? And I said, because I want you to shoot the ball from there, because I want good spacing. I said, how many do you think you can make here? He says, I think I can make 4. I said, well, I tell you what I want you to do. I want you to shoot 10 shots. If you miss 4, we'll tip in 2. Because all zones leave 1 guy on the backside, and I'll put 2 guys over there to
weak
work
side
against them.
Yes.
On the weak side. So he said, I don't know, I'm reluctant to do that. I said, you don't get it. I'm ordering you to shoot the ball, and I'm not even ordering you to make it. I'm only ordering you to shoot it. So as you know, Hawk could probably make 6 out of 10 from there.
Sam Maniscalco just made 3 free throws to give Bradley a little lift. And the Braves need a stop, and they got one. They got that one. It's 5:22 to go. It's a big hill, but basketball is a funny game sometimes.
Well, they had a big hill. They had a big hill to climb against UIC when they shot 17%.
That's right.
I don't ever count Jim Less's teams out of anything.
No, he is one of the most competitive people I've ever known, and he's also just a remarkable young basketball coach.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'll say Jim Les had a good coach. And did you think back when you had Jim that he might coach someday?
Yeah, because you become friends with certain players. Carl Maniscalco and I became friends. Jim Les and I became friends. Willie Scott and I became friends. Mitchell Anderson. There's a good penetration there. Good way to get yourself on the free throw line. But sometimes when you get to know your player as a friend, you have better insights into what they think.
Well, yeah.
And what their dreams are. So Jim I actually wanted to bring him up to Vancouver when I took over as president of the Vancouver Grizzlies. I wanted to bring Jim up there, but the coach at the time was a little reluctant to hire him, and I couldn't tell the coach, you can't hire. I mean, you have to take this guy. I didn't want to do that.
I understand.
But I knew it was a matter of time before he got into basketball.
It's down to a 12-point lead, and Bradley needs another stop. E-Golf is now playing in the middle. Here's Brummagem, look out, and that's too long. Maniscalco, now Dunson has the ball. Bradley pushes. Darren Wilson in the lane. Roberts. Bradley looking for a basket. And here comes Dodie Dunson. He did not get it. Up and back by Wilson at point blank. He missed it. The ball's on the floor.
Gave a great effort.
Brummagem. That was some effort by Bradley is right. And here's a timeout by Kansas City with 4:26 to go. Bradley still got a life here, Coach, with 4:26.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Matt Brown knows it. That's why he called a timeout. That's a pretty astute timeout by the UMKC coach, Matt Brown. He knew that there was a little swing here, and I'm going to kill it right now if I can with this timeout.
Sure.
Very good timeout.
Yeah, well, there's good and bad in basketball. I mean, there's good fouls in basketball.
There's good fouls.
Yes.
Of course there is.
And people think, one of these terms is all one way. It's all either good or bad, but you were just pointing out the 2 out of the 3 things happen if you shoot the ball that are pretty darn good.
Well, that's if you're a shooter. I mean,
of course.
Obviously, guys who don't shoot the ball that well, you don't want to put up a bundle of shots. But right now, if you look at Bradley, Sam Maniscalco probably is their best perimeter shooter, and he just doesn't take enough shots. I know Jim Lester said, hey, I want you to score, but he didn't, he deferred last year to other players, Ruffin, Crouch.
Sure.
And as a freshman, he should have done that. But as a sophomore, he should assert himself more than he has offensively.
Sam, it's interesting. Even though you've got Dodie Dunson and Chris Roberts, who are first-year players with Bradley, I mean, they're juniors, yes, but this is first time in Division I for Roberts, not for Dunson. But you play Darian Norris as a freshman, McCain's a freshman, Taylor Brown's a freshman, and so there's going to be learning pains. It takes time to get this all together.
Well said. And you'd like to learn by winning, and you'd like to come out and play better than we have. You'd like to execute better. You'd like to not turn the ball over as much as we have. You'd like to not make some of the decisions that we've made, jumping in the air and passing the ball. But that, like I mentioned before, Frank, it's a process, and you don't like going through it this way. You want to win and still try to learn. So now what they need to do is really show a tremendous effort in the last 4 minutes of this game.
And of course, unlike football, basketball you play again tomorrow. And then the next day, here's a drive by Trey McKinney-Jones, and that got Matt Brown leaping off the Kansas City bench as it builds the lead back to 14. Trey McKinney-Jones out of Bayview, Wisconsin.
Well, Sam Maniscalco got beat on this, but the help wasn't there. I mean, it's everybody's responsibility, to stop shots. And you talked about sometimes you can have a good foul. A good foul would have then been to, make sure this guy doesn't make the shot, put him on the free throw line, or try to pick up the charge. There's a concept.
Absolutely. And McKinney-Jones is the state triple jump champion 2 years in a row in high school. Sam Maniscalco for 3. Just short off the front. And the Braves still work. Dibble tries up over the top, Bradley ball. And I'll tell you, Matt Brown did not like that shot at that time in this situation.
Well, you got a 35-second shot clock. Hello. Use it.
We'll come right back with the final 3:39.
Sam Maniscalco making a nice penetration here and a good finish, little floater finish.
That was Steve Nash-like.
Steve Nash has influenced a lot of basketball players across this country.
Yeah, he doesn't look like a star basketball player in the NBA, but boy, can he play. Here's that after timeout setup. High lob to the goal, gets Bradley a foul on KC.
In the NBA, there's so many ebbs and flows in a 48-minute game, and when you have such great players playing on both sides of the ball, you sometimes want to get there's the ATO play. was that Wilson? Yeah. Well, what the point I was trying to make was that with the ebb and flow of the lead changes, when you're down in double digits, you're constantly saying, all right, let's get into single digits. Let's get into single digits. And Bradley just wasn't able to do that. Because sometimes when you get it into single digits, the other coach looks up there, the players look up there, and they go, oh, wait a minute, it's in single digits, you know. And all of a sudden it can go from 9 to 7. That just never quite happened for the Braves tonight.
You have to always remember that in sports, the mental side is sometimes more important than the physical side. 3:23 left in the game. A 12-point lead by KC, make it more. Trey McKinney-Jones has come bouncing off the bench and has helped the Kangaroos to expand that lead to 14. And it looks like the Kansas Kangaroos will have 2 wins over a Missouri Valley team.
This is what you don't want. You don't want 3-point plays. You know, if you're going to foul him, just don't let him give his arms above his shoulders. Don't hurt him. Just don't let him get his arms above his shoulders and put him on the free throw line. Although this team on the free throw line is dangerous.
They are. And this is time now, whether Bradley can win or not. This is very important time for the players who are on the court to keep working to accomplish things and get themselves to just be better. I mean, experience is experience.
It is, but it's going to be an ugly tape to watch. I guarantee you.
Yes.
Frank Massoni is going to be an ugly tape to watch. You know, I mean, the players aren't going to want to watch it, and the coaching staff is not going to want to watch it.
Mushat has been a load today, and he just made it a 17-point advantage for the Kangaroos. Bradley has really run into a couple of guys that really shot the ball well. Brummagem, Hamilton's done very well, and Mushat's given Kansas City a big lift.
One of the things that has to happen for Bradley is they have to find some way to beat a zone, because after playing Florida, and Florida went to zone, and Bradley basically was chopping them up in their man-to-man. I think they could have beat Florida, even at Florida. You know, maybe not, but I mean, I really thought they were tremendously competitive when Florida was playing man-to-man. But when they went to zone, I mean, it was like night and day. So, you know, everybody scouts everybody dissects, bisects, and inspects everybody. So when you see, oh, they can't handle a zone, that's all you're going to see.
Yeah. We're going to have to, Bradley will have to prove that they can attack and successfully attack a zone. And when that happens, then the other teams will have a lot more difficulty stopping the Braves.
And it's hard to do without your perimeter shooters. It just is. So it's a period of time that you're just going to have to get through it.
Yeah, it's not like help's not on the way, folks. And everybody gets better as the days go by and practice goes on and so forth. Give Kansas City a lot of credit. They played very well at Wichita and won there, and they're playing very well against their second Missouri Valley Conference opponent today. Hamilton stop and pop.
He's been a load. He's been an absolute load.
20 points.
We predicted that he would be, but it's disappointing to see that he has been the load that he has.
It's a big 18-point advantage now.
You talk about UMKC and beating Wichita at Wichita. And
Sam in rhythm. Well, maybe that's something they can take for tomorrow. Sam Maniscalco knocked that one down. And I don't know how many that is for Sam, but he
that's 16.
He really
He had 13 before that 3.
Sam did?
Yeah.
He shot that one in rhythm, and it looked like he had some confidence when he let it go. And he's a young man that had 55 three-point baskets in his freshman year on a team that had Daniel Ruffin and Jeremy Crouch, 2 of the better guards in the Valley, and 2 really good players.
Well, you know, when you got those other 2 guys on the floor, you get cleaner looks and you get more of them, although he did defer to those 2 players. I honestly believe that, you know, he doesn't look at the basket as much as he should. I think that's a growth process that he's going to have to go through. You see he's got a sweet-looking shot, and it's a responsibility that, you know, is certainly until Andrew Warren comes back that he's going to have to try to shoulder that responsibility. Although when they played UIC, every time he touched the ball, all the UIC players were shouting,
yelling,
shoot it.
I remember very well. You know, there was a time last year when Bradley could put on the floor at the same time Crouch and Ruffin and Warren and Maniscalco and Theron Wilson, and that's hard to play zone against guys like that.
No, you're absolutely right, and it's just going to be a process to get through and figure out. Well, all right, if we're going to be facing a lot of zones, what adjustment am I going to have to make? Am I going to have somebody have a green light more than normally? Yeah, maybe I'll have to do that. But only the coach and his players really know, and they're the ones that have to figure it out.
You know, I think that's something a lot of fans miss because, you know, it's so much fun to talk about what the coach should do this or the team should do that. But it's really, if you are close to this game and you follow it and you go to practice, you understand well that it's only the coaches and the players that know for sure.
Well said.
73-56 Kansas City, and there's an offensive foul. How many times? No. Okay. Yes,
it wasn't a charge this time. It was an offensive foul.
It was.
But it was on the screen, and a little too much physicality on the screen.
This is true.
That's an area of emphasis, I believe, that the collegiate officials are looking at, that and palming the ball.
Yes. Well, palming the ball a couple years ago was really some emphasis. Hamilton with the basketball. UMKC is a minute 38 away from picking up its second win. They played well against Kansas. They played well against Wichita, but they got beat by Florida Atlantic and North Dakota. Bradley beat UIC and lost to Florida, one of the nation's top 20 teams. And speaking of palming the ball.
Yeah, they're just not going to let you get away with that complete cup, the hand under and the rollover. They're not going to allow that anymore, and they shouldn't.
Will Egolf was open for a second. Now here's a ball on the floor. Norris stumbled, and it's a jump ball, and it's Bradley's ball, I believe. There's the arrow. People filing in now shortly here. Richmond will play home team Florida Gulf Coast. Bradley will play Florida Gulf Coast tomorrow and then play Richmond. And then here's Taylor Brown missing. I think it was McCain got in among the bigger guys and snared that rebound. We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, don't you wish he was about 6'6"? Then you could play him at forward and let him go in there and create havoc on the boards. I mean, this is a little man with a lot of lift.
Yes, and strength. He's got a big upper body, if you notice.
Yeah, and he's got big hands. Very big hands. Sometimes guys with big hands are not terrific perimeter shooters.
That's interesting.
Ask Shaquille O'Neal about that.
A free throw is an adventure. Shaq always shot the ball like it was burning. Sam Maniscalco missed. Will tipped it out. Nice play by Will Egolf. Bradley keeps possession. Norris steps in. He misses, and Will Egolf cleaned it up. That's a hoop for Will Egolf at the 101 mark, and there's one of the guys, Coach. He's a sophomore from Alaska, 6'9". He's up to 233 now, and he's got to get better as the days go on.
You know, you just never know what a player's going to do when the lights go on. You have a guy in practice, you sometimes think he's not ready, and you put him in a ball game, and all of a sudden he gets inspired. Those lights change you. And sometimes it can work against you. A guy can look good in practice, and all of a sudden, this is a good play, This is a good play by Will to get this thing started and get it down inside, and there's his follow-up.
Now, he came to Bradley, I think he weighed maybe 200 pounds, maybe, and he's 233 now, so he's gained some upper body strength and some muscle, and hopefully Will and Anthony Thompson will give, Bradley some help. As
that's another
big
player.
man.
Yeah, that's another player that's
6'10".
That's coming on. I mean, we're just going to have to be patient while these young talents, get their acts together.
And you and I both like Taylor Brown, a freshman again, 6'6", with a lot of bounce. KC with the ball.
You don't want to think this way, but nice steal.
It is Dodie Dunson. He still got it. 38 seconds into Taylor Brown. He's stripped, but Bradley's got it back and in. That was Darian Norris that got the ball in the basket. And there's a freshman from Las Vegas, he looks like a guard that someday might be able to shoot it and score. In practice, I've seen him. He looks like he's got some offensive talent.
Yeah, Darian Norris has got some athleticism and some strength, as he showed there. But he's also got a very good perimeter shot, which we haven't seen yet.
He got that one down, a three-point play. 73-61 in favor of KC. And Hamilton will have the ball a lot, and Sam Maniscalco just stole it from him. And the Braves are going to try one out of the dead corner. No. Nice play by Will Egoff to try to save it and couldn't. 20 seconds. Bradley will get a chance again tomorrow for a victory as they play the home team in this tournament, Florida Gulf Coast, here at Alico Arena. Very nice, smaller arena, 4,500 seat arena, but obviously newish and very nice arena.
It's back to the drawing board, but you don't have a lot of time to cry over your spilt milk. You just got to get back and get into a team meeting, and I'm sure Coach Les will have a lot to say after the game, and and I'm sure he understands when he has to be positive, when he has to lean on him a little bit. But that's, as I keep saying, and I'm tired of saying it, it is a learning process, and we're going to have to be witness to that for probably 10 games.
Interesting. Bradley was behind 36-24 at the half, and so the teams played exactly even in the second half. That 12-point margin stood up, and the Kangaroos of Kansas City beat Bradley 73-61. We'll come back with a final word right after this from Alico Arena.
At Pekin Insurance, we know that life has a funny way of flying by. That's why it's our goal to help you secure the future of the ones you love most. Celebrate life's passages knowing that your family is protected from the unexpected. Depend on your hometown professionals.
Call Mid-Illinois Insurance and talk to Ron Murphy, Larry Hardesty, or Mark Alwyn for all your insurance needs.
Pekin Insurance. What you choose today determines your tomorrows. Choose well.
I'm Dr. Keith Kramer. Live life well.
Kramer Chiropractic and Acupuncture. Call now to get started.
Heritage Bank's newest location is your cell phone. Mobile banking. Your bank on the go. Visit go-heritage.com and check it out.
Total dental care from kids to grandparents and the brave to the not so brave. General dentistry for the entire family. Call 347-CARE today.
Products don't know how to find customers, but Comcast Spotlight does. With a mix of on-air, online, and on-demand advertising, you can reach your customers wherever they are.
All right, Coach, we're back at Alico Arena where Bradley was beaten by Kansas City. And our player of the game today for Bradley in a losing cause was Sam Maniscalco.
Well, Sam maybe, I believe he ended up with 16 there. You see him on a nice finish. And he had, earlier you saw Sam had the mid-range jumper working. He hit a couple of threes, got a layup. But for Bradley to have won this game, maybe Sam or somebody else had to really step up and put the team on his shoulders. There he is again with a little finger roll, a little Steve Nash float layup, and he maybe would have had to get 30 tonight, or Roberts get 30, or somebody, it just was going to have to evolve that way, and it just didn't happen. There he is again, three-pointer. He's got a good-looking shot.
He does.
It reminds me of a guy named Jim Les that had a good-looking shot. It was kind of a hesitant shooter. There you see Darian Norris with a nice finish, and Will Egoff there to clean things up. Nice to see him get a little action under the lights.
It was.
And we'll see what evolves with Mr. Will Egoff.
There's some strength.
Darian Norris showing some strength and a good finish inside.
Very good. Well, that's our highlights. We'll come back for a final word right after this.
When is an heirloom more than an heirloom?
when you bring it to Carlson's Custom Jewelry in Peoria Heights. Whether you're repairing a precious heirloom, creating your own, or reinventing the one you've got, Carlson's Jewelry is here with professional jewelers to give your piece that perfect personal touch. Everything is done in-house. Nothing leaves the shop. Carlson's, located at 4701 North Prospect Road in Peoria Heights, corner of Prospect and Duryea. Remember, custom jewelry doesn't cost more, it just means more.
Bradley basketball fans, it's time to get ready to rock the house. Power packs are on sale now. College basketball's best entertainment value is waiting for you with 5 Saturday games for $50. Get yours now at the Shea Stadium ticket office or by calling 309-677-2625. Don't miss a second of Bradley Braves basketball action. Get your power pack today. Bradley basketball. Are you man enough?
What's the most efficient way to heat and cool my home while saving money in the process? If you have asked yourself this time and time again, then it's time to call Grimm Heating and Air Conditioning to finally get some answers. The skilled and knowledgeable associates at Grimm's can explain hybrid systems and how you can choose gas, electric, or utilize both, whichever is more efficient with the rates of today. They can also demonstrate the most efficient way to create hot water with the Rinnai Instantaneous Hot Water Heater. Higher efficiency equals lower utility bills when you call Grimm Heating and Air Conditioning.
Kansas City wins this one, but Bradley will have another opportunity. Join us on Comcast. Tip-off tomorrow will be a Peoria time in the vicinity of 6:15 or 6:30. So we can't predict that because we don't know how long a game is going to take, whether it'll be a quick game or overtime. But all in all, Bradley's got a chance tomorrow to come back, Dick, and it's a new day.
So what's the over and under on 6:15?
That's great. All right. So, for our producer, Frank Blaine, for the Wizard, Dick Versace, my colleague, this is Frank Bissoni, wishing you all a very pleasant good evening from Alico Arena in Fort Myers, Florida, where Kansas City beat Bradley 73-61. We'll see you again tomorrow night with Bradley and Florida Gulf Coast. Thanks for watching. Good night.